it's unclear how this administration will approach the issue of torture. While Secretary of Defense James Mattis has come out against the use of torture, President Trump has consistently voiced his support for quote-unquote waterboarding and worse. With a single stroke of a pen, is it possible for President Trump, with another executive order, to simply revoke President Obama's Executive Order 13491 banning the use of torture?
He could do that, but that would be ineffective because the heart of President Obama's executive order has now been converted into statutory prohibitions against the use. So, to be specific, most of what was contained in President Obama's executive order has been incorporated in the National Defense Authorization Act of 2016 and made it a statutory prohibition against simply a matter of executive direction. So President Obama clearly has the authority to revoke the order, but it would not touch the statutory prohibitions which provide for exactly the same kinds of prohibitions. It's clear, abundantly clear now that President Trump is an enthusiast of torture, and that but for these legal prohibitions against its implementation, he would implement and use torture promiscuously.
And say that whether by an executive order or by repealing part of the legislative acts that have protected against the use of torture, he was able to implement or authorize the use of torture again. From your perspective, what effects would that have upon America's national security?
Well, if we were to go back to torture, it would damage America again, as it did during the Bush administration, perhaps even worse. The record of the Bush administration is that the use of torture was ineffective from an intelligence standpoint. Certainly the Senate Intelligence Committee and its massive evaluation of the interrogation program came to the conclusion, I think very, very credibly, that there's no evidence that the use of torture was beneficial in the slightest from the standpoint of producing some information or intelligence that was then used to make us safer or to bring attacks against the United States. So the fact that the CIA's own records don't contain any credible evidence of effectiveness is I think the first point I would raise in response to your question. But our research here at the Carr Center has indicated that in addition to being ineffective as a technical interrogation mechanism, torture was also significantly counterproductive from an operational and strategic perspective. The use of torture damaged our relationship with our principal allies in the war on terror. It damaged political relationships. It damaged and caused a decrease in cooperation on military intelligence and law enforcement activities in the war on terror. And in addition to all of that, it constituted a strategic gift to the Taliban, Al-Qaeda, and then later ISIS, because they've been using the message of American cruelty very effectively to increase political support for them and to recruit individuals into combat against American forces all over the Middle East. This is, in fact, I should mention that the American military in 2006 indicated that the principal driver of foreign fighter terrorist inflows in Iraq to fight American forces was American abuse of detainees in Abu Ghraib. Number one cause. Number two cause was American abuse of Guantanamo of detainees. So we've seen the effects among our allies and amongst our enemies, and putting it all together clearly demonstrates that the use of torture was counterproductive. That's not even touching on the legal and moral standpoints, which are also considerable objections against the return of torture.